I want your money, I'm strapped for cash. I need your money, too lazy to get a job. Give me your money, I'm not being funny. Give me your money today.
This is a brilliant work of satire. It's my new favourite show.
Man, what a long, strange trip it's been for a goofy kid and his extended family of gender-nonconforming pansexual space rocks, who charm their way into the hearts and minds of a generation, much to the confusion of snobs who don't understand how human emotions work, and hyper-masculine idiots still operating under the assumption that anything that eschews compassion and caring is masculine and therefore good, and anything that embodies compassion and caring is feminine and therefore evil. Yeah, we'll talk about that reject from a Charles Atlas ad at a later date. This is an occasion to talk about the first feature-length outing for Steven Universe, which does involve talking about the story, plot, and the nature of the new mystery villain. So before we go any further and you haven't yet watched this thing, yeah, I liked it. It was fantastic. 4 spellbooks, because from here on out, in regards to both the film and the series, here there be spoilers.
This station is conducting a test of the emergency
Spoiler warning!
system. This is only a test.
Picking up 2 years after the events of Season 5 left off, Steven Universe, now a strapping lad of 16, has just completed work on dismantling the colonial ambitions of the Great Diamond Authority and the stifling authoritarianism of the Diamonds themselves, who dearly want Steven to stay on Homeworld to fill the void left by his gem mother Pink Diamond, aka Rose Quartz. Steven, meanwhile, has only one goal: to return to Earth in his home of Beach City and enjoy his happily ever after. Unfortunately, Steven is still batting 1,000 in regards to the mistakes of his alien heritage coming back to bite him on the ass. Just as Steven is settling back in with his old friends and his Crystal Gem family, a new threat arrives in the form of Spinel, a rage-fueled former court jester of Pink Diamond who looks like a nightmare-fueled Max Fleischer cartoon, and comes to Earth riding atop a planet-destroying superweapon. In trying to defeat this new foe, Steven and the Crystal Gems are struck with a scythe-like weapon called a Rejuvenator that robs Steven of control of his gem powers, and his compatriots Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl of all their character development. Garnet splits back into an icy oracle in an overeager red shirt, Amethyst is back to being a factory reject with the mind of a monkey-see, monkey-do toddler, and Pearl is back to being a mindless, pretty servitor. To make matters worse, Spinel herself is struck with her own weapon, reverting her to her own factory default setting of being Pinkie Pie by way of Cuphead, which is bad because only she can deactivate the bioweapon that's about to kill all organic life on Earth. So Steven sets out to once again set right what once went wrong and defeat an enemy the best way he knows how, through compassion, a big heart, and being able to adapt to whatever the universe throws at him. This movie is fantastic precisely because it builds upon the themes established by the series: the power of love, the power of friendship, and the repairing of broken family dynamics. The plot is even set in motion by a villain whose primary motivation is feeling abandoned by someone she considered her best friend, and now seeks vengeance by destroying everything her former friends seem to care about more than her. And we can certainly all relate to the situation of abandoning the trappings of childhood. Imagine if a favorite toy you played with as a kid was sentient and came back years later in your adulthood all, "You abandoned me! For that I'll destroy all you love!" And you'll come close to understanding why Spinel comes crashing to Earth riding what's essentially a giant syringe she'll use to poison the entire planet, and even reverts the Crystal Gems to a state of childlike helplessness in the face of Armageddon. But this is Steven Universe, where hope springs eternal and we just need to talk things out before we allow things to really go to hell. In that, Steven Universe the movie turns out to be a perfect version of everything that makes the series a landmark in children's television animation. Inspiring, uplifting, and emotionally satisfying, while also teaching important lessons on how to deal with our fellow beings in a measured, compassionate manner that doesn't necessarily appeal to those with the emotional understanding of a TI-84, but screw those killjoys. The power of love can carry the day, and even a chubby teenager with a mop of curly hair and a preference for pastel colors and food-shaped novelty backpacks can be a hero and a savior of the galaxy. 4 spellbooks out of 4. If this be the end of the adventures of our favorite Stuball, then this is a hell of a way to close the book. But as the film teaches us, happily ever after only exists in storybooks. True happiness is something that requires care, maintenance, and a never-ending struggle against the forces of evil and the mistakes of the past. And you can count on the tribunal of the imagination to be the champions for happiness, whimsy, and a childlike sense of optimism. We may stumble and fall, but hey, if every pork chop were perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs.
It's the truth, it's the truth, it's the true kind of love. It's the truth, it's the truth.